Welcome! Today we're talking about how to find the area of a circle. First, let's review the area formulas that we've talked about so far in this playlist. Area of a rectangle is length times width. To find the area of a parallelogram, you multiply base times height. To find the area of a kite, you find 1/2 of the product of the two diagonals. And to find the area of a trapezoid, you take the sum of the two bases, multiplied by the height, and then divide that by 2. Now with all of these formulas, if you've been following along with the playlist, we had visual proofs of pretty much all of these. Not the case for our circles, but this is a formula you've probably seen before. The area of a circle is pi r squared. Now remember, r is the radius, which is the distance from the center of the circle out to the edge, and the pi symbol, that's a Greek letter that stands for a number. It's an irrational number, 3.1415, and it keeps going on and on and on. We are going to always use your calculator, your scientific calculator. It has a pi button on it, so we're not going to just type in 3.14 when we are calculating with pi. We're going to use the official pi button. Now, we are not going to be leaving our answers in terms of pi. That's something slightly different. So if you are looking for something where you're going to have to leave your answer in terms of pi, that you'll have to find somewhere else. Here we're finding the decimal equivalents. So here's an easy example just to get us started. Let's find the area of the circle pictured here with a radius of 6 units. Now we know the formula for area of a circle is pi times r squared, and our radius is 6. So we're looking at pi times 6 squared. Now we know 6 squared is 36. If you don't know that off the top of your head, just use your calculator for it. And you're going to use your calculator anyway to see what pi times 36 is. And you should get approximately, now I've rounded this, your calculator will show you more decimal places than this, but 113.097 and then continuing on. That's why I use the squiggly equal sign, which means approximately equal to. Now, for our purposes, we're going to be rounding to the nearest tenth when we do our final answer, so we would round this to 113.1 square units for our answer. Now, this is pretty much just what you do for circles. The trickiest that it gets is a problem like this. Let's find the area of a circle that has a diameter of 10 units. So we throw our 10 in there. Oh, but wait, that's not quite right. We need a diameter of 10 units. What we had in the picture first, that was a radius. So we need a diameter, which goes all the way across. Now the area of a circle we know is pi times r squared. So we have to somehow get from diameter to radius. It's a really easy conversion since radius is from the halfway point out to the edge and the diameter is all the way from one edge to the other. The radius is just the diameter divided by 2. So if our diameter is 10, our radius is 5. Now we can go ahead and use the formula just like we did in the first example. We plug in 5 for r, so our area will be 5 squared times pi. 5 squared is 25. We use our calculator here to see what pi times 25 is. Gets us approximately 78.5398, which we will round to 78.5 square units. Now we can use this formula, what we're calling backwards, just like we have with the other ones as we've worked through this playlist. If we know the area of the circle, that's actually all we need to be able to find the radius. So this circle has an area of 240 square units. We want to find the radius. Let's look at this formula. It says area of a circle equals pi times r squared. We'll plug in the 240 that we know represents the area, and then it might seem a little backwards if you're not used to working with pi very much, but pi represents a number. So just like if we had it equal to 3 times r squared, we would divide by 3 on both sides. If it's pi times r squared, we're going to divide by pi on both sides. So you just get your calculator out, you say 240 divide by pi, and you'll get an answer that says 76.394, and then the decimal continues. I've rounded this number. But we're not quite to our answer yet. It is very important here that you leave your full decimal, all the digits in your calculator at this point. You don't want to actually clear everything out and retype this number because we still have more to do with this. Right now, our number that we have is approximately equal to r squared, but we need to find r, just regular r. So in order to get r by itself instead of r squared, we need to take the square root of both sides. So on your calculator, if it already has the 76 and all those decimal numbers, all you should have to do is hit that square root button, and it should give you 8.34 and then 0.4. I've rounded it here. For our final answer then, we will round this to the nearest tenth. Notice we didn't round from the 76.394. We kept that full, so our 8.3404, that actually represents the full number in the calculator. But for our final answer, we'll go ahead and round it to the nearest tenth. 8.3 units is approximately our radius. So now we've practiced with the formula. This is the standard way when you're given the radius and you need to find area. We practiced it backwards where you're given the area and you need to find radius. And that is all we have for the area of circles today. So thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next time.